Hello, students and parents. It's Travis Motal, principal of Liberty Hill Middle School for the 2021-22 school year. In combination with Santa Rita Middle School Principal Josh Curtis, I'm here to present some information for our incoming 7th and 8th graders for Liberty Hill ISD Middle School students. This presentation will cover all of the necessary information for scheduling coming up here in April. If parents would like more information, we have a parent information schedule for Monday, April 5th at the Liberty Hill Junior High cafeteria at 6:15 p.m. for 7th and 8th grade. Again, if this presentation is enough information for you and you feel like you got all your questions answered, no need to come. If you have some more questions or you'd like to interact with us, we'd love to see you there. The two middle school principals for Liberty Hill ISD, Santa Rita Middle School, Mr. Josh Curtis, Liberty Hill Middle School, Travis Motom, Santa Rita Middle School administrators and counselors. The assistant principals are still being hired for Santa Rita Middle School. The counselors are in place. Sixth grade counselor and eighth grade last name A through L is Summer McDormand. Seventh grade counselor and eighth grade last name M through Z is Miss Sarah Walker. Liberty Hill Middle School administrators and counselors. For students last name A through L in 6th, 7th, and 8th grades will be Counselor Catherine Presley and Assistant Principal Brandy Pennington. For students last name M through Z in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, it will be Counselor Courtney McMahon and Assistant Principal Mr. Brian Branch. Important information for incoming 7th graders. This is special just for incoming 7th graders. There are immunizations that are required by the state. The Tdap and a metacognitive conjugate, those are required for incoming 7th graders. Every year we send out this information. We contact in the spring. We contact over the summer. We are not able to allow schools or students to start school in August if they do not have these vaccinations up to date. And every year we send this out, and then we always have 10 or 20 that can't start school because parents have waited too long or they haven't gotten it done. So please help us out. Get those scheduled now. Here in the spring, get them done over the summer so that way we're not having to worry about that and your schedules are not delayed for incoming 7th graders. The Liberty Hill ISD course selection timeline for the middle school. Today, Thursday, April 1st, we're sending out information. Monday, April 5th, we have our parent information session. On Thursday, April 8th, the current 6th and incoming 7th graders, counselors will schedule one-on-one with students in the social studies classes. On Friday, April 9th, current 7th graders and incoming 8th graders, all the counselors will schedule with students one-on-one in the study hall classes. Each campus is going to host some type of a 6th grade camp, meet the teacher, something like that going on in August, and we will send out that information once those things are scheduled later on this spring or this summer. Our daily schedule for both middle schools will be an 8-period day, each class 46 minutes long with a 4-minute passing period. School doors open at 7:30. First class starts at 7:50, and school ends at 3:39. We do have a 31-minute advisory period after second period, and this is for intervention and enrichment for students. We also have 3 different lunches, and those lunches may change a little bit, but that's the schedule we have right now. The big thing I want to point out is we do have a staggered bell schedule. So 6th grade is on a different bell schedule than 7th and 8th. And that's in order to help us with two things. One is so we don't have overcrowding in the hallways with, 900 kids all passing at one time. And then the second part of it is we really try to keep our 6th graders separate from our 7th and 8th graders due to their age. Just some general information. We do have all of the students scheduled on interdisciplinary teams. This has been pretty a common practice in Liberty Hill. So students will be on a team and they will share the same core teachers of math, science, social studies, and language arts. The counselors and the assistant principals will be aligned with those teams so that way they can continue to support those students throughout the year. Those teachers have a common conference time so they can collaborate on interdisciplinary projects. They can collaborate on student needs. If you have to have a parent conference, they're all off at the same time. So we really are enjoying the team process that we have. Schedules are not based on friends or teacher preference or parent requests. Due to both of us having close to 900 students, there's just no way that we're going to be able to accommodate every request that everyone has. So we group them by team and we do the best we can matching their schedules based on their course selection sheet. 7th grade. Okay, these are the courses for 7th grade. So you have 8 total classes: ELA, math, and math is either 7th grade math or 7th grade accelerated math. And if you're wondering which math is going to be best for you, we ask you to do two things. One is to talk with your teacher, your math teacher, find out if they think it's a good fit for you. They know your math better than anyone. And then the second part of it is to really look inside and evaluate yourself. Do you have time to do an accelerated class? Because there is time required outside the school day. Do you have a love for math? How have your grades been in math? Our teachers will be making some recommendations based on the school data, but this would be a really reflective question for yourself. Texas history in 7th grade, science, every 7th grader has to take PE, and you can take regular PE, you can take athletics, or you can take dance, which also counts as a PE credit. So any of those will give you your PE credit, and then you have 3 electives. Students that need additional help in reading or math may have one or two of their electives replaced with math or reading intervention, so just want to be upfront about that. That'll be based on data that we have at the school. As far as your 3 elective choices, you can choose a fine arts elective, band, choir, dance, art, or theater. If you want to know a little bit more about those, you can click on this video link right here, and it will take you to a presentation from our fine arts group. As far as the other general electives, you have Intro to Ag, Intro to Tech Apps and Design, Intro to Computer Science for Innovators, and Yearbook. Yearbook is an application-based one. That's why we have that asterisk there. If you're interested in that, counselors will give you an application. If you want to know more about these classes and you want to know more about the course, if you'll click on this course catalog link at the top here, and it will take you directly to our course catalog along with descriptions of each of these courses. For 8th grade, it's very similar. You have ELA math, and 8th graders can either take 8th grade math or high school algebra 1 for high school credit, and you want to do the same reflective practice that you've had that I just previously talked about with 7th grade on if high school algebra is appropriate for you. U.S. history, science, all of our 8th graders take leadership and career exploration. It's divided up it's one course, but it's 2 separate semester classes with the same teacher. This career exploration is required by the state. 8th graders are really get to an intense look into what career interests they have, along with really trying to get their high school course schedules together because high school course schedules are a lot. And so we have a class for that to really try to help them evaluate that process and understand the requirements and different careers and the course paths that they can get into, not only for high school graduation, but as they move on to college. And then 3 electives. And again, the students that need extra additional reading or math support may have an elective replaced with those reading or math support classes. You can choose for a fine art for your electives. Again, band, choir, dance, art, or theater. If you'd like to know more, click on the video link. And then our 8th grade general electives, you can do athletics or PE. Again, PE is not required for 8th graders. It's only required for 6th and 7th graders. Spanish for high school credit. Principles of AAVTC, Arts, Audio, Visual, Technology, and Communications, which is a high school credit. Fundamentals of Computer Science, which is a high school credit. Principles of Ag, which is a high school credit. Yearbook or Office or Library Aid. And again, Yearbook, Office, and Library Aid are all application-based. Students have to apply for those. That's why we have those asterisks there. If you'd like to know more about any of these classes, again, click on this link here at the top for the course catalog. It'll take you to the course catalog where you can see the descriptions of each of those courses to find out which one is best for you. When it comes to creating your schedule and filling out your choice sheet, every student's going to have to complete a choice sheet on paper, and we want you to do that with your parents. Do that together, right? We don't want students to come to school, haven't chosen an elective, the parent had no idea what it's about, they didn't realize there was some type of a financial commitment with it, or I have to get my son a band instrument, didn't even know about it. So you really want to do those things together so that way you know what your kids are signing up for. You'll need to rank your electives 1 through 5. 1 is the elective that you want the most. Okay, that's the number one you want the most. We do our best to get our kids and all of their top elective choices. But again, there's only so many teachers and so many seats, and so we try to fill them up as best we can. But we like to know what your 4th and 5th choices are, so that way if the 2nd or 3rd choice is already full, we're able to get you into those 4th and 5th choices. If you don't fill it out all the way 1 through 5, then we don't know. We've got to do our best guess with that, right? So we want you to fill out all the way 1 through 5. Again, 1 being the one that you want the most. And we want you to have that choice sheet done by Thursday, April 8th, if you're an incoming 7th grader, current 6th grader, or Friday, April 9th, if you're an incoming 8th grader, current 7th grader. Counselors are going to meet with the students one-on-one to go over that course sheet, make sure that everything gets entered correctly and they understand what the student's wanting to do with their schedule. If you're a remote student, not next week, but the following week in April, counselors are going to be reaching out to you individually to get information from you to fill out your course sheet. So remote kids, just give us one extra week, and we'll get to you. When it comes to middle school, it's very important to find a balance, okay? We don't want kids to overload themselves. We frequently have students and parents that will say, well, I'm going to do all these high school credit classes for electives, and they take 3 of them. Well, high school credit classes come with a lot that have a lot of expectations that come with that, right? So we really want you to stop and think through, am I ready for that? Is it something that I'm really interested in? Do I have time for it? If you have a lot of outside school commitments, for example, you're doing athletics, club soccer, or something with your church, that really take up your time, you really want to manage your schedule and make sure that you have a good schedule that you can follow. We don't want kids to really feel overloaded and feel like they just can't get anything done. And we're always here to work with students and parents as that happens. But go ahead and take that look from the beginning and decide, okay, really what's best for me with the current schedule that I have or the current schedule that I'm going to have going into next school year. No pass, no play for 7th and 8th grade. If you are not passing your classes at the grading period, you're not allowed to participate in extracurricular events. This is particularly true for our 7th graders. Always for football season at the first 6 weeks and volleyball season, kids coming in and, you know, they maybe have failed a class or two in the past, or maybe they're not used to all the outside requirements of before and after school practice, and suddenly they're failing and now they can't play football, they can't play volleyball. It always happens the first 6 weeks of 7th grade. So it's very important. Stay on top of your grades, check Skyward on a regular basis, pay attention to the progress reports, so that way you don't get caught up in those things and then have to miss out for that period of time. Athletics is always new for our middle school 7th and 8th graders, so we want to just go over that briefly. 7th grade athletics is the first period of the day for boys and girls, and 8th grade athletics is the last period of the day, 8th period of the day for boys and girls. 7th grade practices before school typically starts around 6:15, 6:30 in the morning. 8th grade practice usually runs after school, 5:15, 5:30, so we just want to be upfront that there are some additional time commitments that come with being in those. Students are asked to dress out daily. We do have lockers for students. Some students have to share if we have too many, but for the most part, everybody gets their own locker. It's very important you complete your physical paperwork and your rank 1 paperwork before you start. Students cannot start in athletics unless we have the physical turned in and checked, and we have their information completed on rank 1. So we'll be sending all that out later in May. We'll offer a time for you to do physicals here at school if you want to do that one, or you want to do it on your own. But we always have somebody wait till the last minute. They can't get it in. They don't get their things done on time. So please don't wait till the last minute. Get that done early so you can check it off your list and not worried about it. If your sport is not in season during athletics, you'll be doing the off-season workout of weights and conditioning. If you want to participate in track, soccer, golf, or tennis, you do not have to be in the athletic period. So if all I want to do is golf, I don't have to choose athletics as one of my electives. I can choose whatever I want, and then I would do golf after school. Same with track, same with tennis, same with soccer. Schedule changes. It always happens. Students fill out their schedules, something they want to change. If it's before the summer, it's usually no problem. You just want to email your counselor. We can work it out. Once we get into summer, it gets a little tricky. Sometimes we can do it. Sometimes we can't. Pretty much once the first day of school has come and the first week of school has gone by, we really can't do any schedule changes at that point. They all require principal approval. All of our schedule, our master schedule, our staffing, our budgets, people we hire, is all based off the choice sheets y'all fill out. So if everybody's filling out the choice sheets, and then everything's changing throughout the summer, well, all the planning that we did all gets messed up, right? So we really want you to take your time, get that inputted correctly now. If something needs to change, get to us before the summer, because once the summer comes, it's really hard to start changing all that stuff. We really do our best to work with people, but I hope you can understand that it's hard to accommodate a lot of those changes last minute, especially when school's just starting. Social media and friends. It's not an exaggeration. We deal with about 95% of the things we deal with all stem from some type of social media. Somebody's on Instagram, Snapchat, Discord. They're on an online game. They're saying things back and forth. They think it's funny. They say things on a game that they would never say in person, but they say it on the game. Somebody gets upset or offended. Information travels so fast as they're messaging everybody, and then it always comes back to school. Somebody's feelings are hurt. Somebody feels threatened. Somebody gets angry. Somebody's anxious. Somebody's worried. And so then we have to go through and sort that out. Parents, we need your help. You got to monitor your kids' social media. You need to be a friend so you can see what they post. You need to be able to get their phone and look at it. I have my own stuff that we bought at my house. We pay about $12 a month, and it monitors all of our kids' usage and sites that they're on, so we can keep track of things. And I really encourage you to do that. It's such a pervasive thing right now, and it really is a big problem. And so the more you can help us with that, it will help you, it will help your child, it will help the school, so that way we can focus on the things we need to focus on during the day and not be sorting out all the social media things. Friends are always changing when it comes to middle school. Kids trying to start to find their own path, which may be a little different path than what they had at the elementary level. So friend groups are always changing. It's not uncommon for kids to be really angry and upset with each other one day, and then by the weekend they're fine, they're friends. So our job at the school is to help them navigate that, right? We stay in contact with you, but I just want to be upfront with parents, and we want to let you know that we're here to work with you. But just know that those things, typically change quite a bit when it comes to the middle school level. If you have any questions, we're here to help you. I've got a contact information for Santa Rita Middle School. I've got the contact information for Liberty Hill Middle School. We're here to make the scheduling process as seamless and as easy as possible. I hope this presentation was helpful for you. If you have more questions, email us. We'd love to see you at the Parent Information Night on Monday, April 5th at 6:15 p.m. Here at Liberty Hill Junior High. If all your questions were answered through the presentation and email, that's great. You don't need to attend. If you have more questions, you want to interact with us, we'd love to see you. Thank you.